What is up, everyone? How's it going? We'll wait for some people to come on in, but couple weeks absent of the live streams since I was road tripping, man. All over the place, it seems like. But how's everyone going? I missed everyone. I really did. Only posted a couple videos here and there while we were on the road trip and stuff. Thought I would have more Wi-Fi than I actually did, but I'm just over here making sure that we are live and that we were posted the right way. Got one person in here so far. Kind of throwing this on you guys. I don't usually do this. I wanted to do a live stream yesterday, but ran out of time. Have family in town, so I flew in on Monday. Got home at close to 12:30 in the morning of Tuesday, and then had family come in, hanging out with them. They came in at like 1 o'clock or so yesterday, p.m. So a lot of stuff going on, tons of content to be posting up for you guys. Let me just double check that we are live on YouTube. I think that we are doing good. Going over to the channel real quick. But yeah, what questions do you guys have? We are live. Perfect. We are doing good. Doing good. Awesome. Son, what is up? Crystal, how's it going? Is this really live? This is really live. This is cool. Yeah, so we usually do, Son, what is up? Just got home from work. What are the odds? That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I usually do my live streams on Tuesdays, and today is Wednesday or so. And I usually give people a ton of heads up for it, but I've been editing videos all day, working on some other things behind the scenes for some other type of Toyota content and stuff. And I was like, I just need to get on the live stream for everyone because it's been a while. It's been a couple weeks since we have done a live stream, and we were staying very consistent with it. But guys, I drove so much. Drove from Florida to Texas to Arizona to California, back to Arizona, and then took a flight back to Florida. It was a good time. Nathan, what is up? How's it going? Hi. Last time I wanted to ask a quick question. Go ahead, Nathan. Ask the question away. So these Q&As and live streams, usually we go for about 2 hours, but like I had mentioned, if you guys are just hopping in, I do have family in town, but I wanted to do the live stream because it's been a couple weeks since we have done one of these. So how these go is you guys just ask whatever questions you guys want in the comment section. I answer them to the best of my abilities, and we just hang out for about an hour or so. We're gonna keep it at an hour this time and not go over that because I wanna go hang back out with some people, but taking the time to hang out with you guys, again, because it has been a while. But we'll let some questions pile up and stuff and let more people get up in here. But basically, guys, the truck is still the Tacoma. The Tacoma is still in Arizona. So Jeff Westcott is adding some more stuff to it, doing some more research and development stuff for it. And I have a couple videos coming out off-roading with the vehicle. We were in Johnson Valley with it. I was also in Borrego Springs with the truck. And I had more content planned, but man, Monday just came like that. And next thing I knew, I was on a plane coming back to Florida. But I will be heading back out to San Diego on April 7th, 7th through the 10th. Going to be doing a Toyota event out there for you guys to bring you all some more content. And then I will be heading back to Westcott Designs to pick up the truck, see what new things Jeff has done with the truck, and put it to the test. I don't want to give too many things away, but we will be going to another state that I have never been to with the truck. I've been there and I've off-roaded quads before, but I've never off-roaded vehicles before, and it is like the mecca for vehicle off-roading. So I'm very, very excited to test out the Tacoma and bring that for you guys. So everyone, what is up? How's it going? So that is basically the lowdown of the trip. The truck handled great. I have some updated MPG numbers, but I still do want to wait until I do a really long haul with the truck. Basically, the best I've gotten out of it so far with the new lift and tires and everything on it is close to 18 miles per gallon for like 200 plus miles, which isn't that bad. with that little 4-cylinder. It's kind of like the Tundra. When you put bigger tires and stuff on it, the turbo is always spooled. That's why you guys can see some new tires in my garage right there. Those are actually for the Tundra. So we're going to be going down in tire size on the Tundra. But man, Jeff Westcott and his team, guys, they did such an amazing job with the Tacoma. It really did have a glow up, and we beat the absolute piss out of it in Johnson Valley, and I had a lot of fun with it too in Borrego Springs. Two very different types of off-roading videos coming for you guys. One was kind of low and slow and technical, but just beautiful views. And then the other video was just high speed, going slow certain times, so we weren't like bucking and going crazy all over the whoops. And then we found ourselves drag racing on a dry lake bed. If you guys have already seen Mark Brenner's video, you guys can already see some of the drag racing and stuff over there. That dude is like on top of it. He was editing his video as I was like flying, and then he got it all uploaded. So he definitely beat me to the punch, and that's totally cool. But that's the cool thing about people that vlog and do different things, is you get to see like two different perspectives of a video, which is very cool in a collaboration aspect, because if you guys like both creators, you can see different people's opinions of the same event. I feel like that's very cool. I find myself doing that all the time with different creators that I follow and stuff. So drop some questions, guys, in the comments, and that is the quick little recap, and we will get into it. It does feel weird though, leaving a truck in another state, and it's just in someone else's hands. But we got the 4Runner, and we still have the Tundra outside, and there is another vehicle coming in May timeframe. It has already been built, and yeah, I like to give you guys little nuggets here on the live stream, because you guys are truly taking time out of your days to hang out with me and stuff, and I appreciate that. So I will leave that nugget there for you guys. So Anthony says, hey Johns, how many miles were on your truck when you bought it? I think the Tacoma had 16 miles on it. I have the paper somewhere. I think the Tacoma had about 16 miles on it. Maybe even less than that, maybe 6. I don't know. It was under 20 that the Tacoma had on it. But now we are over 4,000 miles on the truck already, and I've only had it for 3 weeks, and it has over 4,000 miles on it. So it's getting very close to its first maintenance thing. I believe it's 5,000 mile intervals. So probably when I pick the truck back up in April, I'll just take it to like Toyota of Avondale, or if you guys recommend any Toyota dealerships anywhere in Phoenix, Westcott Designs there in like Deer Valley area. So actually, if you guys recommend any Toyota dealerships in the Phoenix area, just let me know. I'll even ask Jeff too. But yeah. James says, any guess on when the pre-runners will be seen in the wild? So those things were supposed to go on sale around March, April timeframe. I would assume with all these kind of delays and inspections and QC holds for the Tacomas, they'll probably be pushed more towards April timeframe, May timeframe. So we should start seeing those fairly soon. And the pre-runner, after going to Johnson Valley with my Tacoma, a pre-runner build, like a legit, the Tacoma pre-runner, like just the access cab, the longer bed, I can see me doing something with that truck in the future. I think that that's an awesome platform. It's a nice lightweight truck, pretty powerful and everything. I think that a build on a pre-runner to make it like a legit pre-runner is definitely something for the future, especially after being out in the West Coast. It's very, very cool. Chuck, what's up, man? How's it going? He says, Platinum TRD Off-Road worth the effort to find versus just a regular platform, Platinum. Personally, if you're going to like legit use it for crazy off-road, then yes, it's worth it. But if you're just using it for occasional off-roading, I honestly don't think so. Maybe like a resale value in the future, it may be worth a little bit more as a TRD off-road, and especially too if you're having a little bit of an issue finding it, maybe people will pay some top dollar in the future. But personally, Toyota's four-wheel drive system alone is like so good, and if you're not using the truck for insanely crazy stuff, then you really don't need the TRD off-road. And I've had plenty of TRD off-roads. I have a TRD Pro behind me. I have not used those trucks and used the crawl controls and used the lockers and used all that stuff, honestly, to the point to where I've really wanted it and needed it. Even when I was out in Borrego Springs, like with the Tacoma, and even out at Johnson Valley, I just put it in four-wheel drive. I did use the locker one time on the Tacoma when I was doing a little off-road course. And that's just because the rear end was coming up and it was coming down, and it was an intentional thing. So I knew, hey, I put the rear locker on, so when this wheel is up, this wheel's gonna catch. And then when this wheel's up, this wheel's gonna catch. So that's really the only reason why you would want to do that stuff. Honestly, like, I don't think it's worth like stressing over if you can't find one. If you just want a platinum, I would just be looking for really like the color that you want, and if it's a 6.5 foot bed or a 5 foot bed, really. Nathan says, hey John, I'm going to be picking up a used Tacoma TRD off-road in 2 weeks. Wanted to get the rundown of what I'm going to expect, the good and the bad. So the bad, depending on where you live, is just going to kind of be the gutless engine. The third gen Tacoma, it's been proven. It's a bulletproof vehicle, just like this Tacoma, or just like this 4Runner, just like the Tacoma before it. It is a proven drivetrain. But the thing with that is it is a little bit gutless once you start adding weight to the vehicle, and also if you live in like the West Coast or something where it's very hilly and stuff, the truck likes to shift around a lot, and just a little bit outdated of an interior now. Aside from that, you're gonna enjoy the new third gen for sure. Greg says, howdy John, how's it going? What's up, Greg? How's it going? Crystal says that she is posting the recap video from our Johnson Valley run on Friday. So if you guys, again, want another perspective, you guys can check out 4Runner. Crystal, are you doing that on YouTube or on Instagram? Let me know and let everyone else know. So then you guys can see another perspective of how Johnson Valley was. It was such a fun time, guys. It was so, so cool to just be out in the West Coast again and like in my own personal vehicle and not like Toyota's or Lexus's vehicle, and just like off-roading and hanging out with people that I talk to all the time on Instagram. And I actually got to meet them in person, and everyone was just so awesome. Everyone wheeled, everyone had a great time. We were even like with people that own Dodge Rams and a Ford F-150. Like everyone was just having fun. And man, I miss doing that so much. Like it was just so much fun. Sun says, hey John, how are you? I was in the market for a 24 4Runner. Should I wait for a 25? Also, my dad is shopping for a 21 RAV4 LE. So if you want something new, we are most likely getting a 6th gen 4Runner soon, just because we've seen a lot of the spy photos and stuff with it. A lot of those spy photos are intentional, I feel, because if Toyota really wanted to keep something under wraps, it would stay under wraps. So the fact that we were shown this 4Runner a couple weeks ago, or maybe even a month ago at this point now, it means that it's coming soon. So they just plant those kind of little nuggets, I feel, to generate hype and everything. So if you want something new that's kind of like the Tacoma, with a good powertrain, lots of power, some modern tech, then I would just wait. But if you want something that is completely proven and literally bulletproof, like this 4Runner, I mean, not literally bulletproof, but just, you know, it's great and you know it will give you no issues, then I would just get a 24. And the values of the 24s and like the later model 5th gen 4Runners, they will keep their value a bit better than someone like the earlier pre-facelift 5th gens, but they're just gonna hold their value for a while as that weird kind of transition goes from people that aren't sure if they want something new compared to those that finally are like, hey, this new 4Runner is actually pretty good. If it is good, I don't know yet. This new 4Runner is pretty good. Now I want to trade in my 5th gen for it. That's like that little bubble that we want to kind of try to avoid, because you're going to have that little bit of a time where your 5th gen 4Runner is still worth a lot, just because people are kind of indecisive if they want something new. And once that new one starts to prove itself, now the market will become a little bit flooded with 5th gens, right? They'll still be great and they're still going to hold their values. The 4th gens still hold their values. The 3rd gens, all 4Runners really hold their value decently well. But once the market starts to get really, really flooded with 5th gens, that's when those prices will start to come down as used vehicles. So I honestly don't think that you're in a bad position if you just buy a 24 and like in a year buy a 25 or a 26 or whatever. I think that it would be okay. Clip says, why did you decide to go with 285 tires versus 35s? The main reason was because of weight. And it's weird that on Nitto's website, it says that my tires weigh more than the E-Load rating tires, which I think is a typo on their website, because there ain't no way that that's possible. Excuse me. But I just wanted to try to keep the weight down as much as possible. It's a 4-cylinder engine. The truck doesn't need 35s. Honestly, like the 34s are good, but I kind of wish that I just did 33s, just because like the truck had such good gas mileage like before doing all that stuff with it. Like it kills me now that it's under 20 miles a gallon. That's my only thing, but it still handles it well. Mark enjoys the 35s on his truck. He may be going smaller in the future as well. It's just, I don't care enough to say that, hey, I have 35s on my truck to like really sacrifice ride quality, sacrifice performance, and all that just to say I have 35s. The fit looks perfect on the truck. It functions great. The wheels aren't insanely heavy with everything together to where the truck is very underpowered. I feel like the 34s with just how wide they are, because I just really, really like the setup that I went with. Crystal says, just move here already. Working on it. So if you guys go over to the Fur Runner on Instagram, then she will have some recap of our Johnson Valley stuff. She says, I'm not ready for YouTube yet. A lot of work. I do remember you saying that. That is right. I do remember you saying that when we were all hanging out. So YouTube's fun though. I mean, you just get on and BS with some people like this. It's a good time. I really do enjoy it. All right. Ada says, hello, I wanted to know if Toyota is going to stop having keys for its vehicles. I'm curious if they're kind of migrating that way. I feel like you'll always have to have a physical key or something. Like it just seems crazy to not have that. But the new Tacoma, it came with 2 key fobs, a physical key as well, like inside those key fobs. It came with a digital key, like a card, like an NFC key. And then it legitimately came with a digital key. So on my phone, I downloaded the key to the Tacoma. Oh crap, and I left the keys there with Westcott Designs. But they need it, but I didn't do the thing. Gosh dang it. But anyways, in my Toyota app, I literally have a digital key on the phone to where I could just like open that app and use my phone for the truck, which that's kind of wild to me. I feel like one day it'll be like the Tesla thing where all cars just have an NFC key and you have stuff on your phone. But Toyota will be one of the last to adopt that kind of stuff just because they want to make sure that it works and everything first. Mike says, enjoying everything that you've shown. Keep up the good work. So for everyone that has just joined in, I did a 2-week road trip from Florida all the way to Arizona, even went to California and then back to Arizona. The truck, the Tacoma, is still currently at Westcott Designs. I didn't make as much like content as I wanted with it. Like there's still a couple more videos in my mind that I want to make with the truck, but that's why I wanted to just get on here with the live stream. If you guys had any questions about the road trip, how the truck was and all that stuff, then you can ask it in here. But when I get back into the Tacoma, I'll make more videos. But I do have 2 off-road videos coming for you guys as well. But I appreciate it. Mike Tundra says 2020 Tundra Crew Max gets that gas mileage on the highway. The 18, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with that. It definitely doesn't get 23 miles per gallon, but if we're talking about the 18, then yeah. But I mean, that's, you know, putting on 3 inches taller of a tire than the truck came with, heavier of a tire too, which that's really what kills gas mileage, and also lifting the truck up about 3.5, almost 4 inches from the stock ride height too. Like there's a lot of air now catching under the truck. And also that light bar with the roof rack that I put on the truck, there's a lot of wind noise. So I feel like I'm catching a lot of wind up top too. I love that light bar and I'm sure it's gonna be super bright at nighttime, but I'm not 100% sold on the exposed light bar just for the simple fact that there is a lot of wind noise up there. And Mark Brenner, because I asked him because he has the same roof rack as me, but without the light bar, he says his is absolutely silent. So there is like a little bit of wind noise that just goes over it, right? But it's nothing dramatic. Like this Westcott roof rack on the 4Runner, silent, don't hear anything. But the fact that mine on the Tacoma has the little cutout for the light bar, I hear a lot going on up there because you're just interrupting the wind. The wind is coming up off the hood onto the windshield, going up over it, and it's like, oh, what the heck is all this stuff? So I'm not sure if I'm sold on it. Like I feel bad, right? Because it looks so good up there and stuff. But we'll just have to see if I end up ultimately wanting to keep it up on top. Greg says that I have a 17 Tundra after it has been sitting in park for a while. If I shift it in the drive and start to move forward, I feel a hard shift in the transmission. Is that normal? I don't think so, man. That doesn't sound normal to me. I mean, sometimes transmissions, like they jerk a little bit sometimes, but that doesn't sound good. Maybe the torque converter or the clutch or whatever, like disengaging or going into a different gear, maybe that's going bad on the truck. If you have a lot of miles on it, I'm not sure. Maybe some newer fluid going into it would be something, but I would double check like with a dealer or a master tech somewhere. Chatty says, would you say your 4th gen is better or comparable to your 3rd gen TRD Pro? So that's kind of like not a loose question, but there's a bunch of different ways you could go about it. So price-wise, is it better? Well, it's about the same price, so you don't really win or lose there. It's kind of crazy, though, because it's not a TRD Pro. However, it offers more features than the TRD Pro has. Is it better quality-wise? That's, to be determined, right, with reliability and stuff, so we can't really touch on that. Is it better, though, for drivability, comfort, long-term road trip, all that stuff, gas mileage? Yes, it is so much better. In my video of me going from Florida to Arizona, I mentioned that when I was in West Texas, I just had the cruise control set, 80 miles an hour, going through mountains and stuff. The truck stayed at like under 2,000 RPMs or like right at 2,000 RPMs. All it did was just spool the turbo a little bit, spool it back down, spool the turbo a little bit, spool it. The 3rd gen, if I was doing that same drive, it would have been revving all over the place. So drivability and comfort of this new truck is just leaps and bounds better than the 3rd gen. But where the 3rd gen has it is it's proven itself over time, has a crap ton of aftermarket support already, right? Because it's been out for 9 years. The prices of the 3rd gen are significantly cheaper than the 4th gen. So it just really depends on like what you're looking for in the truck, right? But if you're just solely caring about drivability and how the truck drives for like the duration that you have it, dude, 4th gen all the way. All right, Anthony says, are you worried about your warranty? I am not. My warranty should be fully intact with the truck. I didn't do any modifications to the engine. The only thing that, a dealership could say that would be bad with my warranty is like if my hubs go out or something, they may say, hey, you put bigger tires on this truck that were intended for the truck. But then I would fire back at them and say, well, you sell a Tacoma that has 33-inch tires. I'm at only 33.8-inch tires. So can you prove that my bigger tires made this happen? Like that's literally, when it comes to warranty, that's all you got to do. It's called the Magnuson-Moss Act. If a dealership can prove that a particular part made the warranty fail for that thing, then that's how they get you. But if they can't prove it, then your vehicle should still stay under warranty. Just because you added a lift kit to your truck and your engine goes out, your warranty should not be void because a lift kit does not make an engine fail. They're completely different components and stuff, right? So a dealership has to prove all that stuff. And then it'll be on Instagram Reels on The Fur Runner. I'm not ready for YouTube. I already said all that with Crystal. Sorry, I thought she sent it again. Perfect. So the Midnight Jedi says, what's the biggest wheel and tire size I could put on a new Tacoma when I find one without having to lift it? So I'm honestly curious if you could fit the 34s that I put on the truck. They're very close to 34s. They're like 33.8 without a lift. And it's not that I don't like Westcott pre-collar lift. I think that it's really good for the price that it is and what you're trying to achieve out of your truck, like just a little bit more ground clearance and everything. But I feel like you could fit 34s on the truck with very minimal modifications, with like if your truck came with like mud flaps or pinning some fender lining back and potentially moving the crash support. But 100% 33s with the proper offset with the new Tacoma, it'll fit with no issues, even up to 34s. Oh, and then Anthony said, like when the warranty is up. So not to be that guy, Anthony, I would be worried a little bit. I would probably buy an extended warranty with this new truck if I did intend to keep it for a while. But with doing YouTube and like with what I do and everything, I don't keep vehicles past their warranty, if that makes sense. Except for the 4Runner. But the 4Runner, weirdly, has a lifetime warranty. So even though I've had this 4Runner for 7 years now, it'll be 7 years this year in September. This has a lifetime powertrain warranty. And actually, so does my Tundra out there if I decided to keep it forever. But the Tacoma, though, it does not have a lifetime warranty. But I honestly will not be keeping that truck long enough just because of content and what I do with YouTube and stuff. Content always has to kind of stay fresh with that truck, and eventually I want to get a hybrid Tacoma, so I can't answer to that. And the other vehicles that I have, like the 4Runner that I'll be keeping very long term, it actually has a lifetime warranty, which is kind of crazy. Marvin says, hey John, can I put 33s on the Tacoma without a lift? You 100% can. My TRD Sport is coming in a week. Your videos help a lot. I appreciate that, dude, and super pumped you get your TRD Sport soon. You can definitely fit 33-inch tires under the new Tacoma with very, very, very little effort. Just keep in mind your wheel offset. If you're going like a crazy wide offset, then yeah, you may like rub a little bit. But if you're just gonna put them on like the stock tires, or I mean the stock wheels, you're not gonna have any issues with it at all. Johnny says, hey John, any idea when Toyota is going to release the price on the new Tacoma TRD Pro and Trail Hunter? So I am doing a drive event in April for the new Tacoma hybrid, so I would assume in April we will be getting all that information. They dropped all the Land Cruiser stuff super early. I think it's because it's a global vehicle and other areas are getting it. Plus also the first editions are coming out already, or at least they're being built. So I think that's why they dropped all the Land Cruiser information early on us. But the Tacoma stuff, I feel like unless Toyota just drops it like within the next week or two, we'll probably get it during the drive event time. And then when that embargo lifts, I will give you guys all of that information. Cordetti, how's it going, man? Cordetti is a member of the channel, and I appreciate all your support, man. If you guys want more Tundra content and stuff, head on over to his channel. He is from Canada. He has an SR Tundra there, so if you guys want more Tundra stuff, go ahead and check out his channel. But he says, I'm jealous of your last ride / videos. I was busy with mine in the slush and snow. Yeah, dude, it was 70 to 80 degrees in Arizona and California. It was such an amazing time, man. It was so good. So for everyone that's just jumping in, we are almost at 90 people. I just got back to Florida from the West Coast with the Tacoma. Took 2 weeks to just drive out there, hang out with people, do stuff. But ultimately, the goal was to get the truck to Westcott Designs. They built up the truck in a couple days. It looks absolutely amazing. I did the whole build reveal video for you guys, and also recapped my road trip there, which I will also recap my road trip back when I do get the truck back, because the truck is not here in Florida. The truck is still in Arizona because Jeff and his team are doing some more research and development stuff with it, creating new parts for the Tacoma, which is really, really cool. That for those of you that want to buy Westcott stuff, my truck will be basically the guinea pig of all that stuff. So like if you get a bed rack from him, my truck is going to be the one that he did a lot of the fit and finish work on to make sure that everything was pristine for it, and you know, up to his standard and everything too. And some other parts too, which I'm not going to mention here yet because he hasn't officially talked about them yet. So I'm very, very excited to show you guys the Tacoma when he's done with it. But yeah, dude, the scenery out in the West Coast, absolutely stunning. It was such a beautiful time. Will C says, does your Tacoma have the Westcott lift on it? If so, how did it handle? So it does have the Westcott pre-collar kit on the bottom. I did a whole review video, like I said, about everything that I put onto the truck. The kit is very, very good on-road. It does suffer a little bit off-road with the rebound, I should say. So the back, no issues. The front, just a little bit, like if you're mobbing over stuff, instead of your suspension being able to drop down, let's say this much, it's only able to drop down maybe this much because of the preload lift on it. So you feel like the suspension is kind of bottoming out like a little bit quicker than it should. But aside from that, like if you're not going crazy fast out in the desert with it and you're just doing some stuff here and there with it, the Westcott kit is great. Ultimately, you know, if you want a full suspension lift, that is the best way to go no matter what, but it's not as cheap and as not effective. It is effective, but it's not as cheap. Like your dollars spent versus results are a lot better on the Westcott kit versus how much money you would want to spend for a full suspension kit, if that makes sense, to kind of achieve the same lift if all you're really wanting is a lift. But if you're really going to be bonsaiing out in the desert or bonsaiing fast off-road and stuff, then I would definitely recommend a full suspension kit, which I will eventually do with the Tacoma, but I just wanted to see the limits of the stock suspension and also with the Westcott kit. Sanjeev says, would you answer my question on what do you like about the 2021 RAV4 LE? Not much, honestly. Like, the RAV4 is good. For me, the RAV4, it has to be a hybrid. I don't really care for the non-hybrid RAV4s. I feel like they're really loud. Like, the engine is just very loud. And the LE is obviously like the lowest level of the RAV4, so you're not going to have things like the heated seats or the CarPlay even. No, you should have CarPlay in a 21. But we had the XSE. It had a lot more features on it. Obviously, it's more money. But I did enjoy our RAV4 when we had it, but it was a hybrid. We had a RAV4 non-hybrid as a rental one time, and I just remember it just being a very loud engine and just like kind of a loud cabin experience. But our hybrid, it wasn't like that. It was a bit quieter and a bit more refined for a hybrid. So I'm not sure if they make the RAV4 LE as a hybrid, but if they do, I would definitely try to be on the search for that. Plus, it got like 40 miles a gallon. What do you think is better for road tripping, the new Taco or your 4Runner? If it's just me, I'll take the Tacoma all day. But if I'm taking the dogs and the wife and we have bags and all that stuff, I would take the Tundra, but that's not part of the question. I would take the 4Runner if I have like all that stuff. But if it's just like a single person, I would do the Tacoma over the 4Runner. It's easier to drive. It's better to drive. The powertrain to me is better for long-term off-roading. And personally, the Tacoma at the time before I modified it, it got way better gas mileage than the 4Runner does. I think this 4Runner is now about like 17, 18 miles per gallon, whereas the Tacoma, my whole way to California, was about 21 miles per gallon. That was like bonsaiing too. So this 4Runner at 80 miles an hour, I'd probably get way less than 17 to 18 miles a gallon. AJ, what is up, man? He says, hello, John, love the channel. May I ask your opinion on a 23 Tundra Capstone versus a 24 Sequoia limited TRD off-road? I'm thinking about getting one of these, getting a nice discount on either. That's awesome to have. So, man, it's hard. I guess the simplest question is, do you need a truck or an SUV? Aside from that, like, the trucks are literally identical. They're both going to be hybrids. They're both going to tow a lot of weight and stuff, and they're both going to get okay kind of gas mileage. They're both obviously four-wheel drive and stuff, so you don't really need the TRD off-road, like the lockers and all that. It's cool to have if you really plan on off-roading, but if you're looking at a Tundra Capstone versus a Sequoia Limited, you kind of don't sound like you're really wanting or needing the off-road, like the TRD off-road crazy capabilities. So I would just really ask yourself, like, how many people are you taking in your vehicle? Is it just you? And like, do you need a truck? Because you could easily just put a tonneau cover on the back of the bed, or like some sort of bed cover on the back of the bed of the Capstone, and keep all your stuff dry in the bed of the truck, right? And if it's just you, then the truck, kind of, to me, I would pick the truck over the Sequoia any day if it's just like a single person. But like, if you have a whole family and animals and all that stuff, then I would probably pick the Sequoia, even though my dogs didn't really like the backseat of the Sequoia. The backseat of the Sequoia is so bad. I don't like the backseat situation. It's fine to sit in, but just like the fact that the seats don't fold completely flat, they have that whole shelf thing. It's like a raised, I don't like the back. I'm not going to get into it, but I just don't like the back seat of the Sequoia. Aside from that, the interiors, like front seats forward, are literally the same from the Sequoia and the Tundra. The Capstone is going to be a bit nicer of an interior than a Limited. The Limited is honestly like a glorified SR5 on both the Sequoia and the Tundra. It's not really anything spectacular. So, and even at that price too, the Tundra and the Sequoia Limited with the TRD off-road, they're pretty dang close to the same price. So if it was me, I would pick the Capstone. But if you need the SUV for SUV stuff or anything like that, then I guess, it makes sense to do the Sequoia. But you could easily just get a tonneau cover or some sort of bed cover for that Tundra Capstone. Chris says that people always said the second and third gen Tacomas needed re-gearing to run 33s. you're running 34s. Does your truck do okay with them? My truck does great with them. No issues at all. When I'm going up the grades, sometimes now the truck wants to downshift a little bit, but it downshifts to like 2,200 RPMs, 2,300 RPM, and I'm still just cruising at 80 miles an hour up the grades. No issues on the highway at all. The truck just chills. It's basically like the Tundra. Because the Tundra has an 8-speed transmission, it's able to offset the tires a little bit. 37s are still a little bit big for the Tundra. That's why I'm stepping down in tires right there for the Tundra. But no issues at all. I'm not even thinking, like, re-gearing the Tacoma is not even in my mind at all for the type of tires that I put onto that truck. So it's kind of crazy. It's honestly kind of crazy how good that truck runs with the 34s. And it's not me, like, hyping it up, because if people buy a Tacoma and they put 34s on it, they're like, yo, John, this drives like absolute crap. You lied to us. Then I lose my credibility, right? The truck drives freaking great with the 34s, no issues at all. But keep in mind, I did lightweight wheels and I only did a C-load rating tire, okay? So if you put 34s as like an E-load rating tire with like super heavy wheels, don't come back at me and call me a liar. I did super light wheels and I also did C-load rated tires too. So that may be a factor to help. But, you know, other people have been running 35s on their new Tacomas, and they say they run great as well, too. So, Corey Daddy says that I spoke with Westcott today, looking for a 3-inch lift for my new Tacoma. I want to keep it minimal, so just looking for a small lift and better tires. I'm keeping the factory wheels as this is a minimal build. That would look cool. That would look very, very cool. Having just an SR5 with like some bigger tires on it and a little Westcott kit, that would look awesome, dude. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do for you for the channel and stuff, and how you showcase that. That would be really awesome. Pat says, not sure if you answered this already, but which one do you like better, last gen Taco or the new one? The new one. I don't like the price, because the price is expensive for these new trucks, especially with the crappy APRs right now. But if you gave me the keys, you said, hey John, you get to pick one, and they were both equal price, like for features and stuff that you get of each one, I would take the 4th gen every day, just because of how much better it drives, honestly. And the seating position is very, very good in the truck, and the new tech and everything too. I personally like it. It's literally like a mini Tundra to me. Hey John, I'm mad / don't understand how Mark's new Tacoma was faster than yours. Did you check why there was a difference in speed? So in his videos, all right, so if you guys don't know who Mark Brenner is, he has a new 4th gen Tacoma. He also has a 3rd gen Tundra, and he's on YouTube as well. He does very good vlog style content videos. Like, he has goals on where I'm trying to get with my vlog style content here on the channel, because you guys seem to enjoy that stuff, and that's really freaking cool. But 2 things for this. In his videos where you can kind of see my truck and we're racing other people, I was launching my truck in 2-wheel drive, and I didn't have tow haul mode on or it in sport mode, like a freaking idiot. Why? Dude, you're racing. I wasn't thinking. I had just driven from Borrego. I was super tired, and we're like I wasn't super tired. That sounds irresponsible. I just wasn't like thinking all the way, because I'm hanging out with people and stuff, trying to film, not thinking. Mark, he's freaking on it. So when him and I raced, he was like, bro, why, like, I was talking to him. I was like, how are you getting so far out ahead of me? We are literally the same truck. And when they say go, granted my reaction time on some of them like was not the best, but I was like, when we go, you freaking pull out. We're the same truck. That makes no sense to me. He's like, are you not in 4 high? I was like, no, I'm not in 4 high. So he was launching his truck in 4 high, which that made a world of difference when I finally changed my truck into 4 high. But as for when he finally like pulled on me at the end, I think it's just because the 35s cover more like rotational like space or something. I don't freaking know. But if there's an engineer in here, let us know. But his rotation of his tires are more than mine for less effort, I guess. So I think that's why at the end he was pulling ahead of me just a little bit, just because his tires are bigger. I know that makes no sense because they're heavier tires and all that stuff. I don't know, but they're literally the same truck. And also too, you know, when he honked at 3 and he said, do you want to run it back where you honk at 3 to potentially get the jump? I said, no, it's all good. Like, I had already ripped the truck like 8 times, 9 times, and it was kind of hot and I didn't want to rip it anymore. But my reaction time is not the best. I'm not a drag racer, And when he was in charge of 1, 2, 3, he knows when the 3 is going to go, so he's immediately letting off his brake and hitting his gas, right? I'm waiting for the 3. He finally does it, and then I go. So not making excuses. It's just he, 1, was launching in 4 high. I was not until I was. And 2, he was in charge of the honks, which is totally cool. And 3, 35s are bigger than the 34s. So I'm not sure if we have any tire engineers or people like down in the comments that could say, yeah, you're right because these bigger tires and more rotational mass. I have no idea. But yeah. Andrew says, best tires for a 4Runner. Currently have the Nitto Ridge Grapplers. I like the Ridge Grapplers. That's what I just put on the Tacoma. For me, like, I weirdly like them better than the Recon Grapplers. So I have the Recon Grapplers on the 4Runner. They're not like as loud as, or the Recon Grapplers to me are a little bit louder than the Ridge Grapplers. I like the Ridge Grapplers. They look good. But if you're wanting just an all-terrain tire, people have been running Toyos. People have been running Falcons on their 4Runners. But I'm sponsored by Nitto, and it's not that I don't like other tires. It's just I've had 0 issues with Nittos on all the vehicles I put them on. I just beat the absolute crap out of the Ridge Grapplers on the Tacoma and Borrego Springs. They're 6-ply tires, so on the side of them, they were up against rocks at like 15 PSI. And they held up good. There's no chunks taken out of them or anything like that. Patrick says, have you calculated your MPG yet with the lift and tires? I have. The truck is off about 5%-ish, 5 to 6. No, I made a short form video on it. I haven't posted it yet, but I've recorded it and I need to like still edit it. But I think it's off about 6.5%, almost 7%, my amount of miles that the truck goes. So the odometer is off 6%, which means my gas mileage that shows on the screen is 6% lower than what it actually is. So it's very hard to really give you a good answer on this because when I went from Arizona to California, I was hitting a good amount of headwind. I only got like 15 miles per gallon, which is probably like 15 and a half, almost 16. But then on the way back, I had a very good tailwind and I got close to like 18 miles a gallon. So it's hard to tell. It's going to take some time for me to really like figure out just how bad of MPGs like it's actually been hit. But it's definitely not 21 to 22 anymore. I'll say that. Marvin, thank you so much for the $2. Guys, you don't have to do this, but if you want to freaking jump up into the top of the comments right here, this is how you do it. Marvin, I appreciate it. That $2 is going towards my plane ticket to get my truck back. But he says, John, I'm new to trucking. When do you use 4 high or 4 low? So 4 high for off-road and 4 low for off-road. Really, 4 high is what you want to be in most of the time. 4 low is just very low speed because the truck doesn't go that fast when you're in 4 low. It's a very low gear range. Like really your truck is only in first gear to second gear. So you really only want to do that on very technical stuff to where you're not needing to go fast and you're really needing all the tires to stay in contact with the ground to go over whatever terrain that you're trying to accomplish, like going over on your truck. So 4 high, really, it's just, I mean, you could use 4 high when it's rainy outside, really. Like they say not to use it that much on the road. You don't want to like keep turning in 4 high and stuff, but if you're on the highway and it's like very snowy out and you just want as much stability as possible, you could use 4 high if you're out in the desert or running like fire roads and stuff. If you want as much traction as possible, you could use 4 high if you're going, you know, higher speeds, but really 4 low is just really meant to get the traction and everything with your vehicle and go at a slower speed. So yeah, Marvin, appreciate the $2, man. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it so much. All right, next question, Luke, and we're only going to go for about 15 more minutes, guys. I appreciate everyone coming in. I do have family in town, so it's not going to be a long 2-hour live stream, but I wanted to touch base with you guys because it's been a while, man. It's been a couple weeks. Like we only posted about 4-ish videos since I've been gone the last couple of weeks, like long form, but I have been doing a lot more short form content, just kind of showing you guys the truck off-roading and, you know, kind of some behind the scenes stuff of some videos coming. Luke says, I wish they made a new Tacoma gas tank slightly larger. So this is on my 5 things that I dislike about my new Tacoma, and that is 100% one of them, because Toyota's logic behind it is because the truck gets better gas mileage than the outgoing truck. Well, that's perfectly fine for a stock truck, but when it's our fault, right? When we lift the truck, put bigger tires on it, and the gas mileage now starts to suffer, having an 18-gallon tank is not the best, especially when the light comes on, probably when you have about 3.5 gallons of reserve, which means you're really only using 14 to 15 gallons before the light comes on, which is kind of crazy. Chris, you know what I had for dinner, bro. Had some pork belly and some potatoes. It was very good. Andrew says, best... Oh, I already got... What the heck? Did you ask that twice, Andrew? You did ask that twice. And then you're talking to Luke, you're talking to Pat. Should I lift my RAV4? To be honest, Christoph, there are some people that have fully overland-ready RAV4s. Things with rooftop tents, low-pro bumpers with winches, rock sliders on RAV4s. People do it. Like, if it's an all-wheel drive RAV4, people do it. So you would not be looked at weird because people are building up RAV4s. Luke says that I used to have a 2019 Frontier. I was hypermiling at 60 miles an hour. Heck yeah, you were. And I got 17.5 miles per gallon. I was considering this new Tacoma in about 2 years. Yeah, you'll definitely at 60 miles an hour get probably 22 to 25 miles per gallon with the new Tacoma. That's definitely hypermiling for sure. Yeah, the new Tacoma at 60 miles an hour would only be at like 1700 RPMs, just cruising. That would be the sweet spot for sure. Greg says, which do you like better, the new Tundra or the second gen Tundra? This is hard. I really like the new one just because of the technology and the drivetrain. Like, the drivetrain is really good on the new Tundra, but it doesn't sound like amazing like the old V8 does. And when you lift an old Tundra, it just looks really cool. Like, these new ones, you lift them. I mean, my truck outside, I'm not going to toot my own horn. I think it looks really good. But there's just something about the 2.5 gens and even the first gen Tundras. Honestly, they're all great. So what I kind of want to do, and I haven't really talked to you guys about this, and I'm not sure if it'll happen because there's other new vehicles coming to the channel this year, but if I get rid of my Tundra, which I may still actually do just to cut down on car payment, well, but the rate is low. Anyways, I'm on a tangent. Is that? Anyways, is get rid of my Tundra, and when I do, buy a 2019 Voodoo Blue Tundra TRD Pro. I think that would be really cool. And it may not do that well on the channel, which whatever, but it would be cool to go back to the last gen for those people that are kind of hesitant about the new one. And if I'm like, yo guys, this Tundra's better than the new Tundra, like you don't need the new Tundra, then we'll see how it is. But if I'm like, man, I really miss certain features about the new Tundra, how it drives, gas mileage, whatever, then that would be a thing. So I can't really answer this question really because I just haven't had that much seat time in the second gen Tundra, but I will tell you this. I have a soft spot for the first gen Tundra. And even though the first gen Tundra that I had on this channel wasn't perfect, I would probably pick it over my current Tundra. I just have a soft spot for the first gen. It's the perfect size. That 4.7 V8 is just so good. I like the way it looks. So that still is kind of my favorite Tundra, honestly, is the first gen for some reason. I just really, really like it. John says, no, terrible reasoning. All right, Josh says, need a new vehicle or need a vehicle to move kids and tow my 6-speed long travel FJ Cruiser on 37s. Holy piss, dude. Should I get a second gen or a third gen Tundra or a third gen Sequoia? So it depends on how many kids, right? Because a second gen Tundra, you'll have a lot of room in the back seats and stuff. Still, you're limited to how many seats you have in a truck. The third gen Sequoia will be cool because it can tow a lot of weight. I think it's like 9,500 pounds or 10,000 pounds or something like that. The new Sequoia can tow a lot, and it will tow it well because it's the hybrid as well. So, I mean, if you need a family hauler and stuff, then I'd pick Sequoia. And like if your trailer has a toolbox and everything on it to where you can put all that stuff on the trailer and not have it like just loaded up inside the Sequoia, then honestly, that's probably the route I would go is a Sequoia, especially if you have kids and everything. But, again, it goes back to the question where someone else asked, Capstone Tundra or Sequoia. You could easily buy the Tundra as well, put a tonneau cover over it, put all your guys' suitcases and travel stuff and the stuff for the FJ Cruiser in the bed of the Tundra, and call it a day, right? Like, the trucks these days are so functional with things that it's not making SUVs obsolete. It's just, if you have a lot of kids, then you need a lot of seats. That's when the SUV makes sense. But really, if you only have like a family of 3 or a family of 4, a truck to me makes more sense, because you could put just everything in the bed and everyone just sit in the vehicle without all the luggage in the vehicle, and then just have a cover over the bed. Like that's where I'm at when it comes to certain SUVs. Or if you have pets and stuff, maybe the SUV is the way to go. So I don't know. It's really hard, especially with how trucks have like luxury features and everything in them now. Like a Tundra is just as well equipped, if not better in certain trims, than the Sequoia for the price, just because it's a lot cheaper for sure. Yeah, the tank, it's not even 18.5. I think it's 18.2, or maybe it's 18.7, but it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Shorty the Frenchie says, how is Mark Brenny? He seems crazy. He's actually a pretty cool dude. He's not, like, he'll do crazy stuff with his truck. Like, he was out there ripping donuts and everything with it, but like, he's a really cool, genuine guy. So we text now and stuff. I have his number. Like, it's not like, hey dude, how was breakfast this morning? We're not like on that level, but he's still really cool, and he's helping me out with certain things on YouTube. I'm helping him out with certain things on YouTube. It's really awesome. It's very, very cool. Bill Bob says, is the 7th event on California the hybrid test ride? It is. So we're doing the drive event for the hybrid vehicles, also Land Cruiser stuff, and also a couple other vehicles for some driving impressions as well. Not sure how much pricing and information we'll get with other vehicles, but for the most part, it's, for my channel at least, it's going to be very focused around the Tacoma and the Land Cruiser, but also going to give you guys other content as well while I'm out there. So we're going to go on for like another 5-ish minutes or so, guys, and then we will wrap it up. So if you guys dip out early, go ahead and leave a like on this video before you guys head out. That way everyone can see this video in their subscription feed and stuff, because it's really cool. Because a lot of people say, like, in the comments, like the next day and stuff, because these videos go back up to people that weren't able to attend the live stream, they say like they like watch or listen to the videos, because this is kind of like podcast style, right? It's just me talking and stuff. I'm not really showing things, but people say they listen to it like on their drives to work and whatnot, which, it's not weird to me. It's just like cool that people do that and stuff, and that they comment that too. Like Tim, he goes live sometimes as well on YouTube, or like once or twice a week. Other people that are content creators, they go live too. And like, I watch or listen to their live streams kind of after the fact too sometimes. Like if I'm working on something, I'll just put the live stream on to like hear what they're talking about too. Just because like I know them and I've met them, and it's just cool to see like what they're up to and stuff. I think that it's a really cool thing. Marvin, I totally clicked on your thing and I even freaking read it. Sorry. Marvin said Toyota is taking a while with revealing the new 4Runner. What do you think the holdup is? I think that they have their date and when they want to do it. I think that they're probably just figuring out some last minute colors or body panels or just fit and finish stuff, because when Toyota reveals stuff to us, they want it to be as close to finished as possible, if that makes sense. Because when all these automotive journalists put their cameras on the vehicle, and if the vehicle looks like crap, then people don't, like, some people think like, yo, this is it. Because even though I said it multiple times in my videos about the Tacoma, hey guys, this is pre-production materials, don't think that the new one will look like this, I still had people comment in the comment sections, people that have short attention spans, whatever, they just click through videos and stuff, and they're like, ew, that's plastic, it's shiny, I can't believe Toyota went cheap with that. Oh my God, it's pre-production. So I think that they're just trying to finalize materials and stuff with the vehicle, make it as presentable as possible. And hopefully we'll see it soon, because like I said earlier in this live stream, we saw the teaser leaked photos of it and stuff, which means hype is starting to get generated. And when we saw it with the Tacoma, like more finished body styles, or body panels, not Frankenstein with like Tundra parts and everything. We got it several months after. So we saw it a month or a month and a half ago, right? And then when it was the same time with the Tacoma, we saw it about, I think, like 2-3 months or so after. I think the Tacoma was like May or June, I think, was the reveal event. So the 4Runner, I mean, it has to be soon. It has to definitely be within the next couple of months. Luke says, would the new Tacoma be comfortable for a 6-hour drive to visit my dad? I'm probably either going to get an SR5 with some options or a Tier D Sport. Bro, I spent 18 hours in my Tacoma. It's comfortable. 6 hours will be a breeze. When I was driving from here to Dallas, if you guys missed that road trip vlog, I talk about seat comfort and all that stuff too if you want to go see it. I was in that truck because there's traffic outside of Dallas, and I did get up and I took a piss on the freeway because we were not moving at all. Like, we were just sitting there. I was like, holy smokes. So with that, I sat in traffic probably for like 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours, just sitting there, just kind of putting, stop, wait. Because literally, it was going from 2 lanes on the highway that was just backed up miles. 2 lanes on the highway down to the shoulder to get off of the highway because there was a big rig that had like flipped on the highway and stuff, and they just shut it all down. So there was tons of traffic, but 6 hours, it should definitely be comfortable. It was about 5-ish hours to go from Phoenix to San Diego area, and it was fine. Then again, I was just in the truck for like a total of almost 30 hours at that point to like get there. So 6 hours to me, it was nothing. Tisla says, will you buy the new 4Runner when it comes out? I will definitely be buying the new 4Runner. If YouTube keeps going the way that it does, whatever vehicle you guys are very, very interested in and want to see content on, I will most likely have it on the channel if like the demand is there. And I know the demand for the new 4Runner will be there, so you can best believe I will do my best like I did with the Tacoma. I was trying very, very hard to be one of the first, but it just didn't line up. And I've learned from the Tacoma how to put eggs into a basket. And I was very certain that basically everything fell into place the right way except for the sway bar disconnect. So in hindsight, what I should have done was like officially, I guess, order 2 vehicles, like order 2 Tacomas with like different packages Tacomas with different packages, because that seemed to kind of have been the holdup with one of them, right? So if I had like 2 Tier D off-roads, one that was fully spec'd and one that was kind of minorly spec'd, I think I would have had like a Tacoma back in January. But I was like, oh, this one, it's supposed to be built this day. Cool, let's go for it. And then a certain part just kept delaying it and delaying it and delaying it. So definitely learned some stuff with that. But yes, I will be doing my hardest to get a new 4Runner. The moment that it's announced, I will start calling around, talking with contacts that I've already talked with, that I've done other deals with and stuff, and try to be one of the first on YouTube for the new 4Runner. Any content with Lunatic? So I have done some content with him, like just photos and stuff. And we used to do a couple years ago. We did not do it this past year in 2023, but in 2022 and 2021, we did Toyota events down in Tampa to benefit Florida veterans and stuff. And always had photos of his truck down there and his FJ Cruiser as well. But yeah, just whenever I'm down in that area, I try to hit him up and stuff. He's working and whatnot, but I chat with him on Instagram and stuff. But yeah, he's down in Tampa. So just because we're both in Florida, we're not like super, super close to each other. About probably like a 5-ish hour drive to Tampa, 5 to 6 hours, depending on traffic. All right, so last couple of questions. If you guys have any questions, we're at about an hour. And that's about all we're gonna do today. So if you guys have any last minute questions, go ahead and throw them into the comments and we will wrap up. Nate says, is the Toyota Crown a flop? I never see them here in Chicago. Are people actually buying them? I don't see that many of them, honestly. I'm very curious if it's just kind of a vehicle that Toyota's like, hey, here's this car and we'll sell kind of however many we sell. It's kind of like the Venza, like the Venza, which is going away, right, because of the new Crown SUV that's coming out. You just didn't see that many of them. It wasn't like a crazy volume vehicle. But like if you ask Toyota Jeff, he loves his Crown, but you just don't see that many of them really. John says that his Westcott TRD kit is going to be here on Friday. Heck yeah. I hope that you get it installed by a good, reputable shop, or if it's you yourself, dude, heck yeah, get it done, and I hope you enjoy it. Just make sure if the truck rides like crap or anything like that, like just get with Jeff based on your tires and everything that you put on that truck to just get good alignment specs for it. It's very vehicle like specific and everything. So just if you feel like the truck rides not the best, then just get some your good alignments with it. Christoph says, thanks for the response and informative live stream as I commute to work. Heck yeah, man. Enjoy work. My brother wants me to get off so we can go watch a movie. So we are right at the hour. We're at 1 hour and 40 minutes or so. So we are done with the live stream. Harshi and Cordetti, you guys are the last ones. Harshi says, all cars are not meant for regular people. The Crown, yeah, so that's it as well. It's definitely not a common vehicle. It's an expensive vehicle. So I've only seen a couple around me in the Destin area where people seem to have, more money, but like people will at that price really just buy like a Mercedes or a BMW. Like you really have to like the Toyota brand, I guess, to buy a Crown, even over a Lexus, like I would kind of buy a Lexus over the Crown, even though the Crown was cool and roomy, I guess. I don't know. It's just a very unique car. All right, and Cordetti says, I want to see Tuner John with an 86. That would be very, very cool. And Alex, all right, Nate, you are the last one down there, says, apologies that if this was addressed, but what's the gas mileage been? I still need to really calculate it more, but I'm going to say like 17 right now is probably where the truck is going to land. 16 to 17 miles per gallon is probably like, I don't know, it's hard. I'm just going to say 17. We'll just stick it there right now. And yeah, the Signia looks sick, super practical. It is. I wish it was a little bit taller of a wagon, but it is very cool. I feel like the Signia is going to do better than the Crown. And then Nate with the last one says, with the success of the GR brand, do you think that Toyota will bring the Celica back? I'm not sure if they're going to bring the Celica back, but I have a good feeling based on like what David Chow has posted, Kurt Kreifels, a couple other people. Like I don't cover True Car or Best Car magazine or whatever it is in Japan just because they're a little too accurate, and I don't want like Toyota to hate me with some of the stuff that they show. But whoever is leaking stuff to that magazine knows what's going on. And they're talking about an MR2 return, which I would be all about an MR2. I love the MR2. I secretly want like a early 90s MR2. I think it's the second gen MR2 at that point. I think it's a second gen. It may be a third gen. I can't remember if there was a different one, but I love that car. I really, really like the MR2, and to have a modern one, whether it's like a not an EV roadster, but if it's like a hybrid power plant that's like actually meant for speed and like something really, really cool, I think that could be awesome. But guys, it was very cool. Gosh dang it, Dave. Why'd you have to do that? All right. Dave says, hey, John, just wanted to comment on my Tacoma dealer here in Lakewood. We finally got a few Tacomas, one being a Tier D Sport and bronze oxide. Heck yeah. So if you guys are in that area, go pick up a Tacoma. Hopefully they're at MSRP. But if not, let them sit for a little bit and then try to get it at MSRP. But thanks for letting everyone know, Dave. I appreciate it. But guys, thank you for watching the random live stream. Sorry I didn't give you guys a heads up, but I really thought that I would have a video edited today for you guys. But I wanted to get on here for the live stream for a quick hour and answer everyone's questions. And next week, we should also have a live stream. But again, I will be back on the road for a while, just making more content for you all. But I will try to be giving you guys some live streams, whether it has to be in a hotel or something like that. But guys, I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. You guys have a great night.